Hello YouTube, Sir Dragon X here, coming to you from my hometown of San Miguel de Allende. Today we're going to address the recent immigration crackdowns and what you need to know in the video coming up next. Welcome to Retired Life in Mexico, No Bull, where not only do we present you with the facts, but we present you with the true reality. Recently, I posted a video about living in Mexico permanently on a tourist visa. Just shortly after my video was posted, Mexican immigration started a major operation to crack down on illegal immigration. There have been reports on the internet of immigration checks at the roadway checkpoints and some being randomly asked for immigration documents. There have also been reports of Americans being deported for overstaying their tourist FMM. I personally experienced this when I recently took a flight from Cancun to Monterrey, Mexico. I was randomly selected at the Cancun airport to show my residency card, and they scanned it with a phone app in order to verify its authenticity. As I always do, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell so you won't miss any of my future videos. I also encourage you to like this video if you enjoyed the content and leave comments with any questions you may have or just to let me know how I'm doing. Also, don't forget to visit us on Facebook and Instagram at the links listed in this video and on the description of this channel. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is Mexico running an operation to target Americans living here illegally or overstaying their visas? Short answer is no. Immigration is in fact running a large enforcement operation mandated by the government, but that has nothing to do with targeting Americans, and let me explain. It is not uncommon for Mexican immigration to run surge operations. It is also not uncommon for Mexico to do random immigration checks. In the past, before I moved and traveled here as a tourist, I can tell you from personal experience, I have been checked for immigration documents and gone through the immigration checkpoints on several occasions. So you may ask, what's going on? Why are we seeing Americans get deported on the news? All of a sudden, now immigration is asking for original documents and will not accept a copy of my resident card or FMM when they used to before. Basically, to make a long story short, it all goes back to what I explained in my video addressing the perpetual tourist. When the current Mexican president took office, he called for a major immigration reform to root out corruption. He actually fired over 500 immigration staff when he took office. He even made a public statement about this. I actually experienced this change when I first applied for my residency. It took me 8 months to get my first residency card because the official that was authorized to approve my residency applications was actually fired. And even though they had appointed an acting director, the person refused to sign any approvals in fear that they would also lose their job. The second thing the current Mexican president did was sign an accord with former President Trump to let Central Americans traveling to the United States to seek asylum permission to stay in Mexico while they were awaiting their asylum hearing instead of entering the United States. This created a huge backlog for Mexican immigration at the time, and Mexico faced an immigration crisis of Central Americans headed to the United States to seek asylum. Now, through upgraded computer systems, the hiring of more immigration staff, and the expansion of immigration programs, this did relieve the situation for a short amount of time. So, you may ask, if they solved the problem, what's the issue now? Well, with the election of a new U.S. president, Mexico experienced another surge of Central Americans headed for the United States to seek asylum. I want to note that this has been happening for years, every time a new U.S. president is elected. In the past, Mexican immigration was very lax on individuals illegally in the country, to include Americans, because they simply didn't have the infrastructure. This is why overstaying your visa or being a perpetual tourist was so easy in the past. Bottom line is the current Mexican president has mandated major immigration enforcement in Mexico to include tighter border controls. Now, what does this mean for expats? Immigration is now requiring original immigration documents to include residency cards and your FMM and original passport when doing immigration checks. Actually, by law, you must present original documents, but in the past they were lax on enforcement. Immigration expert Sonia Diaz actually went to the INM office and asked if this was true. And the official answer from Mexican immigration was, yes, you must present your original documents. If you overstay your visa, if caught at a checkpoint, you could face a fine or deportation at the discretion of the immigration officer. If you overstay your visa when departing the country, you will pay a small fine as usual, but a flag will be placed on your passport in the computer system to track possible abuse of people overstaying their visas on multiple occasions and could be banned for a period of time or permanently if abuse is detected. Immigration now has a system to track tourist FMM issuances, so the days of the perpetual tourist are coming to an end. There is a misconception that the immigration officers have full discretions on issuance of an FMM. So, if they find the right immigration officer, they won't have a problem. Now, it is true that the immigration officer has full discretion to issue an FMM, but if illegal activity is suspected, the immigration officer loses that discretion and must enforce the law. As pointed out in my other video, living in Mexico permanently on a tourist visa is illegal. The issue now is going to be that now that immigration has the infrastructure, they will be able to see your entries and exit, and they will be able to detect this illegal activity. Now that Mexican immigration has the infrastructure, if an immigration officer sees back-to-back entries in the system, more than likely he will either issue a 7 to 14-day visa to take care of your personal affairs and leave, or you do face the risk of being denied re-entry or even face a ban from re-entry depending on the case. This is already happening as we speak. Bottom line is that immigration is cracking down and is not as lax as before, and that will affect those who choose to try to continue to stretch the rules or disregard them altogether, with the reasoning that I have been doing it for years and nothing has happened. Technology is catching up. Fun fact, the Mexican Congress just signed a bill early this year authorizing immigration to further update their computer system and actually get rid of the paper FMM. Eventually, the FMM will be totally electronic and paperless. So what's my advice? Be here legally. Do things properly. If you're going to be here as a tourist, be here as a tourist. And make sure that you abide by the visa regulations. Now, I am aware that there are individuals that have houses down here and spend 3 to 6 months of the year here. That is considered being a tourist. What is not legal is living here permanently, full-time, and renewing your FMM every 180 days. I do want to point out that different immigration offices are running asylum-type programs called regularization programs to give residency to some that have overstayed their visa since 2019. This does not have any financial requirements. Now, I am not aware of which exact offices are offering this, and I also don't know the exact requirements. I think it's best that you contact an expert such as Sonia Diaz at the link I list in this video, or an immigration lawyer in your area. I hope this information helps. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe, and see you soon.